The left continues their crusade to put accused criminals who aren't even legal citizens on a pedestal. Our next guest is someone who's been personally affected by the failures of the last administration in this department. We'd like to bring in Patty Morin, mother of Rachel Morin. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. Patty, your daughter was murdered by an illegal alien. And now that man has been convicted. But it can't be easy to sit and watch these politicians that on the left that are just fawning over illegals like Kilmar Garcia. This is the illegal that's now in an El Salvador prison. Your family, how are they doing through all of this and how everything is so public with Rachel's murder?
It's been very hard for our family. We're a very close family, so this is just the whole process over the last 19 months has been very emotional. We get to a place where we think we're okay, and then all of a sudden we'll just be overwhelmed by grief because something will trigger it, like holidays or just family events. And then coming up to the trial, not knowing all the details, just basically an outline of the crimes, but to sit through her trial for the time that we did, and to hear the horrific details, it's been really hard. We've been struggling this past week since the trial ended.
You were
emotionally.
You were in the Oval Office too, and you also addressed a lot of the media here that has been the left media that has been not necessarily covering her trial very fairly. But I do want to ask, what has President Trump meant to you in terms of he's used the situation that your family's been going through to help other Americans that could potentially be in a similar situation? And you had that moment there in the Oval Office with President Trump. What did that mean to you?
Despite everything that the media says, he is genuinely a kind man. He's a father, he's a grandfather, and he genuinely cares for the American people. He's not put off by your, I don't want to say stature, but your station. You could be a leader of a country, or you could be like me, a mom and a grandmom. Mm-hmm. And he looks at all of us equally, and he's very caring and kind. I appreciate him very much as a friend.
So I want to get to this. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen, he barely acknowledged your daughter's death, yet he goes 3,200 miles down to El Salvador to speak with an alleged MS-13 gang member, Kilmar Garcia. He even, on Easter Sunday, took time to plead his case on the left-wing media. Watch.
He told me about the trauma he had been experiencing, both in terms of the abduction and the fact that he was originally sent to CCOT, which is this notorious prison.
Yeah, we've seen the images.
He told me how much he missed his wife and his kids.
This is your senator from Maryland, and he goes down there to meet with this alleged MS-13 gang member, clearly for politics. But he's trying to humanize the situation. What was your reaction to hearing his comments there?
The only thing I could think of was the trauma that my daughter suffered. She had her face bashed in, her head bashed in. She had 3/4 of her brain was hemorrhaged. She had bruises and wounds over every part of her body. There wasn't a part of her body that wasn't covered. She was dragged 150 feet into a culvert, blood gushing from her head that made this blood trail. That's how they found her, was this blood trail that she left behind. She experienced trauma. A criminal getting sent to a prison for crimes is not trauma. And to make it out like he's the victim and my daughter is not a victim, I find that I'm so angry, I can't even think of a word to say. Mm-hmm. It's like he doesn't even acknowledge or honor my daughter or her death, a senseless death that didn't have to happen if immigrants were not allowed just to flood our country. I'm outraged.
And Patty, I know you've done a lot of interviews, and clearly, you addressed all the reporters there at the White House. Why do all these interviews? I mean, this is, I imagine, as you mentioned, so traumatic for your family. Why is it important for you to do these interviews?
Because there are people that come up to me all the time, and they see me as just the mom or the grandmom. And so they see me as being just like them. And they tell me the stories of things that have happened to their families because of illegal immigrants. I had a gentleman come up to me yesterday, and he's thanked me he said, I know it must be difficult, and I know Easter's coming, but I just wanted to thank you for talking out for us who've had experiences with crime and have loss of life from illegal immigrants, but they're too afraid to speak or too ashamed. They don't, they want to put it behind them. Now, a lot of this crime, it's over the past 20 years, and it's only just increasing since Biden opened the border and let everyone into our country. And so I want to save life. I want to preserve life. I want American women and children to be safe. I want to be able to walk down the sidewalk and not be afraid that someone's going to jump out and drag me. There's a lady that's in this town that told me she was walking across a small field just from one driveway to another to go into a store. And someone came up from behind her, put her in a chokehold, and tried to pull her to the ground. She got away from him, ran to the store, called the police, found out that this man had attacked 7 other women.
Do you have a message?
It's not in the news.
Do you have a message for your Maryland senator, Patty?
Yes.
What is it?
Please. The message is, listen to your constituents. Your constituents, Marylanders, we are not against immigration, but immigration that is done legally. We are against allowing illegal immigrants that have ties to criminal organizations that traffic and kill. We are against those elements in our state. You need to take and advocate for the victims of those criminals, not advocating for the criminal. You look foolish, and honestly, you're turning Marylanders against you and against the Democratic Party.
Patty Morin, I want to thank you so much for your time, and my heart goes out to your family, and I wish you a happy Easter to everybody around you. Thank you so much again for coming on.
Thank you, and thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.